Coach, if you could open with a statement before we have questions.
Sure. I thought, I was really pleased with our guys' readiness to play. I think, we're coaching college guys, and they see on Twitter that 3 players aren't playing, and you never know what they're thinking. And so for our team to have the maturity to come out in the first half and really rely on our defense and play hard and be ready to play, that was the biggest thing we talked about. I told them a story a few years ago when I was the Xavier coach. We played Tennessee in the second game of the year at our place, and we were missing 3 or 4 starters, 3 or 4 players, concussions, injuries, and we ended up beating Tennessee. They were playing a 4-man at the 2, and it was wild. And then a couple weeks later, we actually played Tennessee, and we were full strength and lost. So it just goes to show that, if we'd have given Georgia Tech maybe life in the first 10, 15 minutes, it may have been a different game. Kids might have found their confidence. So that's why I was really pleased with our team having the readiness and maturity that we did today.
Okay, questions?
How important was it you guys started so fast offensively and jumped out to an early lead to kind of put pressure on them with so many guys already out?
It was really important because, as you know, they've got really good defensive numbers. We felt like they were going to be difficult to score against when they were in their zone. We had an attack that we wanted to implement. If we always had to face that zone on a made shot by Georgia Tech walking the ball up, it was going to be even more difficult. So to get some stops, get a few things in transition, but then also to find some confidence within the half court to create some open looks, because some teams can get stymied. It's a really good zone they play, and I thought our guys had a lot of confidence against it, especially in the first half. Not so much in the second when he was sort of going back and forth between zone and main.
With all the players out, were you expecting the ball to go into Banks as much as it did?
Yeah, I think, Josh has done that regardless of who's been on the team. I think James continues to get better and better. You recruited him out of high school, coached him at USA. He's a good player, and he's really big. He's got a soft touch. He draws fouls. Our post guys didn't do a very good job with him. Give him credit. He sealed really deep. Their offensive attack, 4 guys on the perimeter, so he's isolated a lot. And he had a better night than we did defensively on him.
Chris, what have you liked the most about your team here these last 3 games in terms of the confidence they're showing and the run they're on now?
Well, I like the defense personally. I think that these last 3 games, and we talk about if you get 3 consecutive stops, we sort of label that a kill. If you can get 7 kills in a game, you're awfully difficult to beat unless your offense is just completely inept. We have too good of players, and we'll be out in transition enough that offense should never be an issue. But it's the first time we've had 3 games in a row now, 2 of which have been on the road, where we've gotten 7 or more kills, and that's where it needs to start with our team first.
Can you talk a little bit about your fans traveling to a road game?
Awesome.
I imagine that helped the atmosphere a lot for you guys.
When they introduced our starting lineups, or they said that the visitors from Kentucky, University of Louisville, and to here in the opposing team's arena, the support we had was awesome. Glad we could play well, and really appreciate. We have such an incredible fan base. They travel, so it was fun.
The first couple ACC games, I know there were a couple of slow starts, and you kind of talked about the defense after the Pitt game, and you said at that time there's no magic thing we can do to turn it, but you did. What are you doing differently to kind of start games and also to get it done defensively? Well,
it starts with individuals. You could have 4 guys busting their tail, and if one guy doesn't really place a high enough priority on the defensive end, you're going to get beat. Either he was the man that was supposed to help, or rotate down to block out, or just simply guard the ball. And I really feel like per man that comes in the game or starts the game, our guys have played with a lot of juice on the defensive end. Because as we saw, when the ball doesn't go in against Pitt and you can't stop anybody, it's a recipe to lose. I don't care who you play in this league. It's one of the reasons I wanted to be in this league, because I knew we were going to test it every single night. If we can't get stops, we won't win.
Anything else for Coach Mack? Okay, thank you, Coach.